Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is EnnyBernie, and of course, this is Stories with EnnyBernie. Today, I'm not alone. I've got somebody amazing in the house with me. She's not an old face. She's somebody you already know. Please make welcome Lulu.
Hello. Hi. How am I feel like one guest? God, I beg.
Of course, on today's episode, you're a guest, right?
Okay.
So on today's episode, she's a guest.
So treat me as such.
I am. Oluchi will be joining me today as we talk about building your confidence as a woman. Now, if you're from this part of the country, not this country, in fact, this part of the world, Africa in quotes, and Nigeria, it is very, very, very easy for your esteem to be dampened. It is very easy to find ladies who do not have self-confidence or who do not even have confidence at all. Now, we've had a lot of talks together with Oluchi, and one of those times she shared beautifully how God helped her to build her confidence. I've got my story, but I mean, Lulu has such an amazing story that I think the world should hear. Lulu.
You know, and the way you said, I have an amazing story that you think they want you hear. I've not even started in life. I'm not.
That's right.
Did you get?
It's progressive.
Okay.
But God has brought you a long way. You've come a long way.
Yeah. God has really, really helped me. You understand? Because when I see people and I talk to people and I tell people I had self-esteem issues, they turn. Like they're like,
how?
You? Do you understand?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I can't believe it. But I did. I had serious, terrible self-esteem issues. Secondary school. Okay, wait, let's even begin. Okay, if I would go way back from when I remember, okay, we talk about primary school.
Well,
I don't know whether I should just begin right now. There was a girl in my class.
Okay.
Her name was Joy in primary school then, and she was. I was about to.
she was suspected as I am.
Exactly what I wanted to say.
That's fine.
She was suspected that you are, but she was fair in complexion. Small. In fact, she even had your shape of head, like your stature and everything. And she was very quiet though. It's not like she talked to anything, but like our class teacher liked her a lot, you know. And I remember that her nickname then was Golly Gold.
Oh boy, such
Golly Gold.
Golly
you know,
Gold.
she always writes it at the back of all of her books and everything. And she had a beautiful handwriting.
Wow,
so beautiful. Like you literally think it was typed, and all the Y, she's Ying all the Y, she's G'ing all the G's, she's T'ing all the T's.
Oh boy,
damn, G gets. So, and then she was mad intelligent, like very, very intelligent, you know. But quiet girl, she didn't used to talk much, didn't used to do much. But our class teacher at that time, I think Mr. Emmanuel, he liked her so much. And then me in primary school, I had such. In fact, I would try to really cut down the story before this thing would. I would just try to see how I can.
Yeah.
So, like I said, Golly Good at the back of all of her books, and I looked up to her. Like I wanted to be like her. Like our class teacher just likes. And thinking about it now, that is where I can also remember my people pleasing attitude begun. I think people pleasing is even another topic on its own. If you are a people pleaser, it actually contributes to you not being a confident person. But people pleasing is also a wide like it's a topic on its own. I just remember that it was at that point that my people pleasing attitude also began. So because I really wanted him to like me just like he liked her. I wanted him to like me just like he liked, and I had a very bad handwriting in primary school. Terrible. When people see my handwriting today, they're like, "Oh my God, you have such a nice handwriting." I'm like, I just laugh because I know where I'm coming from. Guess what? With time, I don't even know. I just used to admire her every day we come to school. And sometimes, anytime she enters class like this, our teacher is like, "Oh, Joy, how are you? How's your daddy?" But sometimes I come to class, I greet him. He doesn't even answer me.
Oh boy.
You know, and I was always tall like this and big like this as a person. You know, so guess what? By the end of that term, by the next term, when I got my new books, when I wrapped my books, we used to wrap our book with calendar on newspaper. Do you remember? So
very well,
at the back of all my books, I wrote Golly Gold.
Oh boy!
At the back and at the front of, I decorated it with Golly Gold because I really wanted to be liked like her. I wanted to be like her. So I always felt inferior to her. I always felt inferior to her. Then there were also a group of girls that were not even. I knew that I was more intelligent and even finer than those ones, but those ones they just had and you know, somehow I was also from this. There's a way I grew really,
Yeah.
to ourselves.
Conserve.
So yes, conserve. So all these girls that like at that age they were exposed like, so those ones wouldn't intimidate me all the more. And all those kind of people, when they see you, they see that you are tall, they see that you are fine, they see that you have a potential, they begin to treat you some type of way, just to intimidate you.
You know, the one thing that you don't realize then, but which I'm sure that you realize over time, is that they also had their insecurities. It was simply because they felt threatened by you. This girl is tall, she's pretty, obviously pretty. And so before you would, maybe that is if you thought about it, which of course you didn't project it on them, they just project themselves. Most times people project their insecurity on people because they are scared that people will treat them in a certain
also,
kind of way.
yes, they can also see through you that you are also not confident.
Sometimes they don't know, they won't try.
Yes, they try. And then they try and they see that you coward and they're like, good.
They capitalize on it.
They continue.
Okay. Very beautiful story. I mean, I would love to, hear all about the story because they're really, really amazing stories. But this continued on to secondary school?
Until secondary school, yes.
At what point did you feel like, or did you notice that there was a shift?
There was a shift. Enny, should I be honest with you?
Very.
My shifts happened not so long ago.
Oh wow.
Like it's not up to 3 years.
So if it's not up to 3 years, how were you able to cope over time? What was your coping mechanism? How did you get through secondary school is tough.
Yeah.
Most times.
And guess what? I went to a boarding school.
Oh boy. Hey, I cannot, because secondary school is tough. Boarding is worse. So how did you?
Not just a boarding school around my house. Like up to 13 hours away from where I stay. I don't want to mention the state on this video, but that's hours and hours away. So most times, almost throughout my secondary school, I was away from home.
Very depressed when your secondary school is.
Oh, of course. I went through that at so many points. I was in fact, they called me Luna. That, like, it was my name. They called me Luna, especially when I was in SS. People called me Luna, this Luna. Because at the point, it was eating me up.
Did you have friends?
I still say it to today, just like in this environment that we are. When sometimes I say it and it looks like it's funny, I say, when you see me relating, the way you see me relating, the fact that I can relate with people like this, the fact that I can relate the way I relate, it has been a serious fight.
Oh, wow.
Like a fight like a tug of war with myself. I didn't have friends. I desired it. I saw people having friends. I loved it. Like, I want to have friends, but
it just didn't work out for you.
It just didn't work out for me. I was not confident in myself. I didn't see myself. I didn't even know who. It's not like I did not know who I am.
Yeah.
But somehow I didn't. When I say I didn't see myself or I didn't feel myself, I just saw every other person but me. I just esteemed every other person but me.
But you.
So I kept getting lesser and lesser in my own eyes. I kept being pressed like I was nothing in my own eyes. So regardless of what any other person was seeing,
so you were even acting contrary to the Bible. The Bible say, "Love your neighbor as yourself." If you did not love yourself, it means you will not be. Love your neighbor as yourself, but you were placing other people above
myself, constantly above myself. I remember there was even a time our hostel mistress, like one of the times in secondary school, there was a time she confronted me and said, the way you carry yourself, if not that I know you before, because we just began to talk around that time, like I don't know whether say it was a mistake. I don't know how it happened, but I got close to her.
Yeah.
So we got talking.
Yeah.
So one of the days we're just walking from the hostel to class and she said, if not that we got talking, I always thought you were so proud. The way you carry yourself, the way you just be moving. And then, do you know that after she said that thing, I didn't explain to her. They say, you go explain that. I didn't explain to her that day. I just laughed. Because even then, I did not even know how to have a conversation. Anything you say to me, I would just be looking at you like moron, like this. And then if you know who I was before, like I was opposite to everything that I am today. So that's why many times I push. You will not know. I'm just living my life. You will not know, but I push. when I started seeing light when it comes to God helping me build my confidence, I started pursuing it. Like, so she was like, I've had this conversation with a group of people. I was like, do you know that that's my friend, like that my like auntie friend didn't know that. What made me quiet? Like she said, you don't want to associate with people, you don't want to have friends, you think you're the only one in the world, just carrying yourself. She didn't know that self-esteem had. I don't want to use the. I don't even want to use the word was killing me. That killed me. So me, that quietness and me working on my own is because I wasn't even seeing myself. Like
You're a shadow of
I
yourself.
was a shadow of myself. Thank you.
Okay, so boy, this is really nice. It's intense.
I don't think I've never shared this before. And do you know what's funny? I don't think I can. I don't know if, but sitting and speaking about this alone, I don't know how possible it is. I think the fact that I'm talking about it with somebody is what is making it easier for me.
Exactly, I get it.
Yeah.
So, did you ever share, aside from when did you ever share with anyone your struggle?
I've shared with
Did you ever try to meet somebody? Did you try to talk to your mom? Did you try to talk to anyone about the struggles that you had then?
Now, this issue with confidence,
Yeah.
and everything I was good because I speak to my mom and tell my mom sometimes, I say, Mom, the things I fought in life are not things you see. Most of the things I fought were very much internal. And the issue is that I believed the way I did not see myself, that's the way I believe nobody else saw me.
So
And I had the mindset by default that nobody liked me.
Because you didn't even like yourself.
Yes,
So it would be difficult for you to believe that anybody actually likes
Thank you.
you.
So if you don't like yourself, you don't believe anybody likes you. I did not even know how to receive help. Normal help, like normal. I don't know how to ask for normal help, like, oh, help. I did not. If you come to me, I could give you. I will give you everything. But to ask or to collect, like, the point was, I did not like myself, and I did not believe any other person liked me. So I did not even have the morale at any level to walk up to anybody. But then my elder sister, you know, at some point, different points, especially towards when I was rounding up secondary school, you know, she began to notice some things, and she would always call me. She would always talk to me. In university, okay, 100 level, 200 level, around 300 level. That was when I was in 200 level. I looked at myself, I said, in secondary school, I didn't maximize connections.
Yeah.
I didn't make friends because of how I saw myself and how
Yeah.
I viewed myself. I said, in university, I must make friends. So even, and you don't like yourself, you're not confident, so you don't even have standards.
Yes.
When we even want to come to,
Why are you even setting standards?
you don't have standards, anything goes, you can accept anything.
Yeah, because you are by all means trying to see if somebody's just going to like you, notice you, see you.
And guess what? I must say this part. Anytime somebody does anything to me or around me that looks like or feels like they see me, that's my happy. Like that is when I'm elated. But once that is taken, I drop. Like I get depressed. So sometimes you see me a whole week. In fact, I went through depression. It was not like a life, especially in secondary school.
I mean, this has been very, very insightful. I mean, for me, it's like basically, of course, I had my own struggle. My story might not be like yours, but the first thing you mentioned when you spoke about people pleaser. I might have been confident, at some point, but that's people pleasing.
You also went through it. I feel like people pleasing is something almost everybody.
Sometimes it's even negligible because you don't even know that you're doing it. Only very few people work on themselves to be able to say no when they should say no. I can actually
You're right.
be kind to a person,
Right.
but I don't necessarily always have to be nice.
Yes. Yes.
So niceness can come off as weakness. When you're kind, it's okay to be kind. Kindness is I see somebody who needs my help and I go to help them. Niceness is they don't even necessarily need the help. I know they're even taking advantage of that help, and I still decide to put myself through of going to do it, even when it's in the most inconvenient. Because you can be kind, it's inconvenient. You do it.
Something happened this morning when you were done with our other sister's makeup,
Yes.
right? And I've been mentioning brows, and
Yes.
the only reason I was mentioning that brow is because I wanted to encourage you.
Yes.
I didn't want you to have this mindset. I was thinking for you.
Yes.
I was like, I don't want to have this mindset that after this whole makeup, you don't have that whole makeup.
Yes.
So I kept saying brows so that at least you can touch my face.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
And when it was my turn, I was like, you now looked at me and said, like, you were sweating already. You're not like, Oluchi, it's like as I said, oh yeah, come and do me now. You know, said it's bras I'm doing for you because
Yes.
it's what you said.
Yeah.
And as I looked at you, you just said, I'm serious. When I said I'm serious, I said, this thing hits because I had seen her like this makeup. It was fine. I was like, and I was not like, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you are being the one. You are the one that opened your mouth. I was saying brows. So if she does not do the brows for you, just don't take it so hard. I was going to feel like it would pain me. But I was just like, as you were doing the brows, I was thinking, Oluchi, she will do your brows and you not take it too hard. She will do your brows and not take it. And that's why if you notice, as we were doing the brows, I said, and then you give me your brush, you let me put the powder myself. So when you started doing the face, I was just happy that God, you just though I'm your friend, but that was you like not. Though you ended up doing it, but that was you standing, saying. You said brows, I'll do brows. And when I was trying to smile, you said, I'm serious. And I was like, well, I actually learned from you. Because most of the time when I like somebody, sometimes I go beyond what I really want to do. And finally you did it, but just that gesture of having to say, I'm serious, this is what I stand for, this is what I will do, you know, it was something. So yeah.
That was saying, call the shot. So it is okay to sometimes call the shot, say no.
And if you have friends that when you say no, they maybe
take it to, they are not,
just find your way out.
Find your way.
We don't have strength for that now.
They are low-key manipulators.
Yes, exactly.
No, so
we don't have time for that.
I think that people should be able to take it when people say no to them.
Yeah.
I've learned to.
It's hard.
It's hard,
but it takes maturity. But we have to get to that point.
I actually even prefer when somebody tells me an outright no.
Then you say yes and then you don't do it.
Oh, you cut corners to just keep posting me.
Yeah.
I like it. That's why if somebody says make my hair, I can tell you I'm not going to make it.
Yeah.
I've done it a lot of times. I tell you I'm not going to make it. I'll tell you I'll call you at my convenience.
Yeah.
And I will come and call you.
Yeah.
But if I say I'm not doing it, it's not because I'm cutting corners. I tell you I can make hair. You ask, I won't lie.
Yeah.
I can make it, but I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
And I say it and then I go on, I come back and keep smiling. If you take it too hard, it's fine. But at this point, I'm not doing it. So it's okay for people to also, because people have also said no to me. And we should be able to take that. Some people don't even know that they are people pleasing. And it's there.
They are not conscious of it at all.
It's just a thing.
It's just a life, a lifestyle.
It's just a part of humans.
Yeah.
To just want to just constantly please, be on people's good book. You can't always be on people's good book. But let's not deviate from the conversation of today. So you've said a lot. These stories are really deep in my heart because even as we were speaking, I felt like, you know, like when you said your elder sister noticed, of course, there were times I've been there for my sisters, but I'm just recording, you can be more. Do you understand? So it's a learning process for all of us. But now, I asked you this question earlier. I'm going to ask it again. That at what point, you said it was 2-3 years ago. What happened? How did this shift come about? This is like the main. I am curious. I tell you, we've had this conversation tons of times, but as sitting here right now, I'm so curious to hear about it.
Okay, so I'll just say something. Right from time, right from a young age, I found God. Yes, I was born into a Christian home and everything, but time came maybe around when I was between 12 to 14, when I really, I can say I consciously gave my life to God and everything. And somehow God got intentional with me. God got intentional with me. Like the Holy Spirit got.
I like the word.
Yes.
Emphasis on intentional. God is intentional about everyone. You need to note that.
Yeah. So when I say God got intentional, it's not just me.
Yeah.
That is the way He's intentional with every single one of us. So and yeah, instructions, all those things, specific instructions began to come, and somehow all I wanted was to become everything God had created me to be. Was just for that will that God had in His heart when He brought me to this world to come to pass. You know, so everything was happening. Now, as I obeyed God, it's not like I didn't make mistakes. I had the times when I made mistakes, but as I obeyed God, I began to learn a lot of things. So now you said what happened that caused that shift.
Yes.
As I continued to yield to God, and I began to understand how God wanted to use me, it started becoming realer and realer by the day that without confidence, I can't impact the world the way God wants me to.
I can do all things through
Through
Christ,
Christ who
which
strengthens
is
me. So yes, I was struggling with it all the while. All the while, I'd always known that there's something specific that God would want to do with me.
yes,
But like 3 years ago, it now became like the reality began to dawn. When
Yeah.
you are young, there are some things that you will not really understand.
That's
You will just
true.
be doing things.
Yeah.
But there's a time you get to that intentionality sets in, and it just became a reality to me that Oluchi, if you don't fix some of these things in your life,
Yes.
all the obedience you think you have obeyed God, all the yielding you yielded to God will be a waste, because you won't end up, because you know what you always say something that I always sticks to me. You say when you fail a lesson, you repeat class.
Yes.
There's the way you put
Yes.
it.
Lessons will be repeated until they are learned.
Until they are learned.
Yes.
So, and that is one thing about God. For God to take you now, from this level to another level, there's a test you must pass.
True.
So a time came when, yes, I knew that this confidence is something that I should work on, but a time came when it was, if you don't pass this confidence test, there's a next level you can't get into.
Access.
It now became a reality.
So you were tired. Were you tired of being constantly?
And I had been tired from time immemorial.
There's no
I remember in secondary school, sometimes
that.
I'll leave class and go to the dining and just be crying. When I cry finish, I'll come back and start.
It's not enough to actually be tired, because there are people that actually, beyond confidence now, are tired of the level they are in right now. And they want to shift to another level, but they have not understood or realized the plans that God has in store for them. Because I think that's the realization.
When we were speaking about purpose, you said something. You said exactly what you are saying now. That it has to do with you first realizing what God has in mind about you.
Yes.
And that's what saved me. That's what helped me. Like, that's what brought me to a point where that shift had to happen. It became a reality to me, and I was like, okay. I now had to start building consciousness of some things.
Yes.
Like, okay, who are you? I discovered that I had never been myself. I only began to be myself a few years ago, like be Oluchi. The Oluchi herself.
Yes.
That was the first realization when it came to my confidence. So you see, it also began with self-realization. Not now, now I'm not remembering what you said when you said purpose in life and purpose in God.
Yes.
Do you know that to even find yourself in God, you need to find yourself in yourself first?
And that has to do with, that's the life you're living.
Yes. Yes. Though for me to find myself,
you need to find it.
God helps me find myself.
That's true.
So when you find God, like you said, when you find God, when you find your purpose in God, you find the purpose in life. But when you find only your purpose in life, you might not find you will not find your purpose in God.
You will not even be feeling like you said. You said something that's when we had that conversation. I think that purpose series or that purpose conversation was even like an eye opener, because we were just here and it was like God wanted to lead us through another path. We argued. I don't even know if we're going to post, but maybe some of those parts we were not even included. But we had like a lengthy conversation. We captured it, but it was so beautiful, and eventually we understood. You mentioned that it's possible that somebody will find their purpose in life and they will never be satisfied.
Yes.
They will constantly feel unfulfilled. That's the point I wanted to say.
Maybe when they are doing that thing, they can feel a little joy. Oh, I'm singing, I have joy.
Yes.
But once they leave that, thank you.
It's short-lived.
Thank you.
That's the point.
That's the point I was trying to make. When you were now.
Yes. I remember vividly that you made that point. Yes. It was a very beautiful point. It is short-lived. You say, and this they have to hate. They have money. Your journey as a believer is very different from the journey of an unbeliever.
Joshua Selma will tell you, I don't care how fine you are. I don't care the money you have. I don't care what any other person, like what people are hailing you that you are. If you are not aligned to the will of God and doing what like God created you to do, then you are a dead person. You are a carcass. He will tell you.
Someone said the greatest tragedy in life is not death, but life without a purpose.
Yeah.
And honestly, the greatest tragedy in life is not just even life without a purpose. It's a life without God. A life without God that would lead you to purpose. Because if you have God,
that's when you find your way to purpose.
The moment you have God and you walk in His will, you find purpose. This is not purpose.
I'm learning a lot. Too. Like, I'm learning
but
a lot.
this is not purpose series. But this topic is really amazing. So you told us a number of things when you were talking about how God, the shift, the intentionality, discovering who you are from God's word, and how you knew that there was an instruction for the next level, and if you didn't pass this test at this point, you might not be able to cross over to the next level, because for every instruction there's a miracle waiting to happen.
Yes.
And how God takes us to another level is by the instruction he gives us.
And how we obey them.
Yeah. How do you trust and not obey? So for the longest of time you're trusting God, but you never really obeyed, because the only thing I'm telling you, just do this. There were times you would have had opportunity to just,
but it was difficult.
And then finally you decided to not just trust, you obeyed and confident.
Because it became a matter of urgency.
Yeah.
It became a matter of urgency.
I'll tell you this for free. When I first met you, when I first saw you, not met you, because saw you, I came to class, I just resumed, and then you walked into the class and you spoke to somebody. You just went up to the person and like, I was talking to you today and you didn't respond or something. I'm not going to mention the name of the person on camera. And you can ask me later. If I remember, I'll tell you. And I looked at you and I said, this girl is bold.
Are you serious?
Why I am sharing this now is that what you do not realize, the devil does not have new tricks. The only thing he has is old tricks. God has made you in a way that the first thing that people see about you is your confidence. Funny enough, her name is Confidence.
True. Why did I do that?
No, that's good. Her name is Confidence. The first thing people see about you is your confidence, even without you having to say nothing. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to say anything. It is there. It is the one gift that God gave you.
And what the enemy came to quickly do is he blinded me to it.
He fought you on that one thing.
Yes, that God gave you.
That made you stand up.
I feel like tearing up, but guess what? I'm not gonna tear up. I won't tear up.